Today we're going to talk about Coronado Island and the rich history of the ferry. Coronado's first ferry boat ride was in August of 1886, and it was a steam-powered side paddle ferry. The cost of this boat was about $15,000, and it could carry about 600 people plus a 13-horse team. It was called the Coronado. The ferries in Coronado ran until about 1969, and that was because the Coronado Bridge just had gotten completed by that time. Two pioneer developers, Elisha Babcock and Hampton Story, were responsible for kind of discovering Coronado in the 1800s. Hampton and Story were also responsible for building the Hotel del Coronado, which opened right around 1888. And that's about when the ferry started as well, just a little bit before that. They had a vision for it while they were here with their hunting and fishing, so they ended up buying the property. Coronado Island, which really is a peninsula, was created from sediment from the San Diego and Tijuana rivers. A long time ago, it was covered with scrubby plants, and then not palm trees like you might think. And when it was getting developed by Babcock and Story, they were taking all of the scrubby plants down, and then nice trees were planted, orange trees as well as palm trees, to make it look very tropical. Now we know that Coronado is really not an island. It's actually a peninsula, but it's still called an island, even though it's not one. It was known for its gorgeous beaches, as well as the Navy and the very charming town and the Hotel Del. The Silver Strand, which connects to Coronado at the bottom of the village area and runs all the way down to Imperial Beach, adds miles and miles of beach property to the island. There were several ferries throughout the history of Coronado that ran. There was the San Diego, as well as the Crown City. And the Coronado ended up in Argentina on the Amazon River for a while. It's heard to be abandoned. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but that's where it ended up. The Crown City ended up in Martha's Vineyard and is known to be still running there now, but by a different name. So when the bridge was completed in 1969, and it was commemorated by Governor Ronald Reagan at the time, who drove across the bridge. The ferry stopped operating at that time, at least for a while. There's some rules about not operating a ferry within 10 miles of the bridge. But then later in the 80s, they were allowed to operate again, and now they provide free transportation for military and residents early in the morning. Other passengers can enjoy using the small ferries in the day as well for just a very small fee. I believe it's about $5 each way. Now the ferry landing used to run and meet right over here in this location. Now this is a park called Centennial Park. It's really pleasant. It's a place where people like to just relax and watch the activity on the bay. This is the original ferry landing area, and there's plenty of condominiums around that are very nice. Like I said, people enjoy looking out at the city skyline. Here's where the passengers pick up the ferry and they go across to the convention center or to the Midway. We're going to take a look at the little shops in the ferry landing right now. There's all kinds of shops around here at the ferry landing. There's food, there's things like ice cream, there's some cute fashion, women's clothing places, there's sports rental. There's also a nice wine shop that you can pick up a glass of wine and sit down and enjoy an appetizer. There's also some good restaurants like Pioe's and a couple of other ones too. Costa Azul, that's a nice Mexican style restaurant, cantina. Here's a nice shop for getting t-shirts and sweatshirts for people that are visiting. I've gone in there several times and have bought things. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Ferry Landing. It's a favorite place to go. I know I love it. A lot of history here, but some good shopping and eating here too.